Everybody in the back hear me okay? Can you hear me okay? So make sure, sometimes it's good to be soft-spoken. Anyway, no, I love this business. And it's interesting because, having been in this industry, actually I was in this industry before I was in it because Mr. Rohn was speaking all over the country, all over the world for a lot of MLMs. So I would go to the MLMs and I would see him speak and I would, be selling product in the back of the room. It only was in the back of the room, not outside the room. There was a time when, you sold product in the room. And I get to listen to people train, number one. I get to listen to success stories, and it caught my attention to hear all these average people that are looking for something. Everyone's looking. And so, I think the one thing we have to really be good at as we observe. Jim Rohn taught me this one word. I mean 2 words. Just write this down. Pay attention. So you pay attention. So wherever you go, pay attention. It's like walking through the hallway. I pay attention. I want to look. Is someone looking at me? Are they smiling at me? Because if they're smiling at me, I'm going to introduce myself to them. It's just my nature. It's my personality. Because Jim said we're always looking for the believer. So number 1, pay attention. Number 2, know that you're looking for the believer. And then after that, it really becomes a numbers game. And the whole key is, and just think about this for just a minute. Let's just say that we all live in one neighborhood. Say we live in Sunrise, right? Okay, so we all live in Sunrise, and this multi-billionaire says, I'm going to give away $1 million to someone that lives in Sunrise. And this one person, you're not going to know who it is, so everybody in Sunrise just needs to go to everyone else and introduce themselves. Well, hi, I'm Steve, and your name is? And Michael, what do you do? Right. Do you have $1 million for me? No, but anyway, basically, the contest is that the billionaire made was, all I have to do is go introduce myself to someone, and whenever I say, make the contact with asking me who he is and what he does, then he has to tell me it's the $1 million. Because what happens so many times is there be people in our life that we don't even talk to. Like a lot of our neighbors, I bet you probably have some neighbors you don't even talk to. Why? They could be shy, they could be timid, they could be afraid. And when really, maybe all that person needs is just like a little love. And so, number 1, it's paying attention. It's number 2, it's deciding really what you want. And that's what we do in this business. We talk about your why. And the why is so important, but you have to know a person's dreams because, if Tommy's dreams are different from mine, Tommy may want, to, take over Donald Trump's organization. He may want something that big. For me, I'm happy making $250,000 a year and living around the world, and living off residual income. Because that was when I started in this business. I knew one day I was going to get older, and I wanted at that time to make sure that I had money, wasn't reliant on some business, or some stock going up or going down. Anyone lost your rear in the stock market? Mm-hmm. I wish I could have lost my belly. Anyway, so I think that's important. The other thing is that it really is you keep it simple. But so many times I think, when people start in this business, it all starts with you. And it starts with the conversation that you have about yourself. And so it all comes down to belief. And so for you to have 100% belief that you can talk to anyone, any nationality, any age, any profession, that you can talk to anyone regarding this business. And that just doesn't happen overnight. When I got started, I was terrified because I didn't know. I remember, I was in another networking business. We came to this one, and you had to learn these titles, right? And I'm like, I didn't want to get it wrong. So it took me like almost a year. I mean, seriously, it took me almost a year before I could even do a presentation because I'm a good speaker because I was so intimidated that I was going to get it wrong. What I realize now, I didn't have to do that. It wasn't about me doing that. It was more about using the tool, which came back, to my sponsors. They're like, Steve, all we want you to do is to create contact with someone and then ask them if you'll do you a favor. So it's that simple. So a lot of people you probably haven't spoken to. And here's what I was taught to do years ago. This is what's worked for me. I teach all my new recruits this very same thing. It's what I mentioned a little bit earlier. I say to someone, Hey, Lily. Hey, Lily, it's Steve. Do you have a quick second? Awesome. Hey, I'm working, I just started a new business, and I'm hoping you may know some of the kind of people I'm looking for. Would you do me a favor and talk to my business partner, Alex Frankie? Everybody knows Alex, right?
Exactly.
So you know Alex, right? So would you do me a favor? Now, I didn't try to sell her anything, did I?
No.
All I asked her was, would you do me a favor? You may know some of the kind of people I'm looking for. If somebody does ask you what it is, you say, well, it's got something to do with identity theft. Have you heard of it? Yes, well, wonderful. I'm going to have my business partner talk to you. You see, I think so many times we go at people with approach. We hear some kind of script that we're supposed to use, when in reality, it's just the connection. It's just like, hey, I live in the area, you live in the area, what do you do? Because if you're here to help someone, our product helps people. I've been in the business long enough that I have so many success stories of people that have used the membership, and so I can use all these stories. Why? Because it saved them thousands of dollars. You maybe it's just getting started, and you can't. But if you can go through people just to have them speak to your business partner, and that's somebody in your support team. We try not to use the term upline. Does that make sense? Because it just can be a turnoff. So your support team, that's who your support team is, your upline, but in the future, call them your support team, because they're here to support you. Why? Because they want you to be successful. We all want everyone to be successful, but when people don't feel like they're being sold, guess what? They get educated. So we do these three things. These three things will build you the biggest business in Legal Shield. You share the membership. Share it. Didn't sell it. You're not selling it to someone. You're sharing it with them.